So building a card game from scratch is challenging without trying to be the same as others. You want to try and remove yourself from what that looks like. The main inspiration is from things that I liked to play when I was growing up, and trading card games, board games, video games, and blending all of the feelings of what I enjoyed about those games into another game. It's hard to not kind of feel a bit cloney. Some things that you'll try and get inspiration from it, you want to try and take away from, feel like other games anyway. It's how you adapt them into new mechanics and build on them that really makes it unique. So let's dive in and I'll show you what the game's all about. So Archaic Realms is 1v1, faction locked. There is heroes. You can bring 3 heroes to the lineup. Each hero has a unique set of abilities. Each deck has a different theme. The idea is that there's quests and faction objectives. The realm battle system is you're fighting it out to control the realm, and there's multiple ways to get to victory. It's a combination of a battle system as well as a quest objective tracker. The inspiration that we got from a class system in MMOs, we want the cards to feel like they belong to a certain kind of theme. We want the decks to feel like they've got lore and world building behind them, and we want the win conditions to feel like they're unique every time you play, rather than just a combat battle, I beat my opponent down. That feeling of playing a new game every time with the core kind of mechanics there that are fun, and along with the artwork and the world building, we think combines into a very unique experience. That's what the idea was for Archaic Realms, a blend and mash of all the things that I liked to play. Here it is. All right, so this is the board state. This is everything you see from the player's perspective. The opponent's side is just mirrored. So we can see here, there's the hero lineup. They're the 3 kind of heroes that you can have in the realm. And then your opponent's lineup there. So they're visible at the start of the game, so you know kind of the theme of the opponent's deck. And you need to kind of show the theme of your deck. Gives you an opportunity to switch the heroes out if you need, just a bit of a balancing thing at the start of the game. So as you click through each of these, it'll explain to you what those sections mean and what's happening on each side. So this one here is a hero lineup. So this is on our website. You should go check it out if you want an in-depth read through. I'll just breeze through this one here so we can see what's going on. All right, so in the realm, that's where the main combat zone is. You have 1 active hero at a time, and your opponent has 1 active hero at a time. So the active hero is the target for all combat and mechanics within the realm. We have allies and augments, and then the spells get played throughout. The opponent's, I guess the enemy, is always targeting your hero. That hero has a HP system, which is tracked. And then the HP system, once it gets down to a certain point, it unlocks more abilities for the hero. The weaker their health points are, the stronger they become if you kind of turn the game around a bit. When a hero drops down a hit point threshold, you gain a victory point. Each hero has about 3 victory points, depending on their thresholds. And if you destroy them, it's a way of kind of alleviating the stress of that hero being very, very strong. So there's a reason why you want to keep targeting them and killing them. All right, so the realm is, the lore around it is you want to take control of the realm. There's a realm location that sets the theme to what the realm is. It's balanced on both sides, so there's no one faction benefits more from the realm than the others. Not yet. And then within that, there's realm quests and vault rewards that are tied to the realm location. Realm quests have victory points on them as well. And there's also rewards that you can get from those realm quests, which are tied to the theme of the realm that you both have decided at the start of the game, or if it's more of a competitive game, a pick ban system for choosing the realm. It just adds a second kind of dimension to battle and allows both players ways out of problems that they're in, rather than just combat exchange again and again. Okay, so the main resource in Archaic Realms is the energy system. If you played a card game before, most games have a resource engine or something like that. This one's energy. So use energy to cast your allies, to use abilities, to cast spells and augments. We also have a energy surge system where there's a kind of a catch-up mechanic inbuilt into the game. So dynamic energy, if you miss playing some energy per turn, there's a system involved that will help you catch up. It's a game-wide system, and it just balances it out so you don't just have to surrender after, say, 3 hands or 3 turns. So energy is charged and discharged, similar to other kind of trading card games where a spell costs 2 to cast, you'll discharge 2 energy to play it, and you can't use that energy again for the rest of your turn. Pretty simple stuff. The energy on the card is located at the top left. So energy cost of the card is like a tier system, which ties to the strength of the card as well as the rarity in some cases. So beating the heroes down gets you realm control points. That's a win condition. So if you get to 11 realm control points, you control the realm, you win that game. There's also a faction objective, which is both you have a faction objective and your opponent has one. It's public and visible, so you know what the opponent's faction objective is. If you complete all of the conditions, it's an alternate win condition. The goal around this is to have a themed objective that your deck can work towards that isn't completely tied to the combat system, and it's not tied to the quest or the realm location system. You can tune your deck to be faction objective. It's a little bit harder to win on a faction objective. Maybe you got stuck in the game and you can't do much in the realm to win in the battle system because your opponent has just locked you down. You can change your attention and try and hit all of the conditions of your faction objective, and your opponent is going to have to intervene, otherwise you're going to win. All right, realm control points. I might have said victory points before, but same thing. The realm control point represents a track towards winning the game. So it's first to 11 wins. We have that down as a kind of a soft lock on 11 realm control points right now. Once we go through play testing, that might evolve. It might come down. The different ways to get realm control points: hero HP thresholds. So every time you reduce the hero down to a certain number, you'll get a realm control point. It essentially weakens the opponent, right? So that's the idea. Faction objectives. Certain faction objectives will give you a realm control point. And then there's realm quests as well, which is neutrally tied to the realm location. Those quests can give realm control points as well. So they might be a little bit harder. And because realm locations are a shared knowledge pool between you and your opponent, you can start to think about what cards might be coming up based on the quests you've already completed or you've seen your opponent already complete. You have your main deck, which is a tuned, faction-themed deck that you've chosen what cards are in it. There's 50 to 80 cards, all right? So 50 is the minimum, 80 is the maximum. So we've limited the kind of copy limits you can have in the deck. Then when you start playing your cards in the realm, or if allies get destroyed, or augments get destroyed, they go into the discard pile. There are some factions, right now the Shadow faction has a kind of a death and recursion ability where you can bring things back from that discard pile. Think of it like a zombie that doesn't die. There's also, tied to the realm location, we've got a system called Vault Rewards, which are connected to either the realm quests or the faction objective. You find ways to draw these cards out of the vault. They would be, consider them colorless cards, right? Non-faction locked cards that have a once-off play. That vault reward will give you something that might turn the tide of the game. There could be a top deck card that destroys everything in the realm, minus heroes. So something that really shifts the dynamic of the game could be in there. All right, so what makes Archaic Realms different? So if you're coming from Flesh and Blood or Magic Gathering or Lorcana, Riftbound or anything like that, the things that make Archaic Realms different is multi-hero lineup with HP thresholds. We find that the hit point system is kind of unique, that as the game evolves, that hero starts to unlock more abilities, and then a new hero comes in and kind of breaks the mold of the theme of the game so far for your faction. So the next hero could be completely different. So the hit point threshold as well is like a decision that you can make as a player. You can allow damage to come through to unlock more abilities. There's a strategy in that we think is pretty unique, and we like that idea. So second is the shared quest system. It's got a bit more board game tabletop to that, but it will happen fast in the interaction of the game. The idea around the quest system is kind of bringing more of an MMO feel to it, but keeping it fast. So you could combo a quest that you have that would make a play that you're going to make anyway a bit stronger in the next turn. And third, the faction objective. Having a secondary win condition, I think, splits the game a little bit. It is, I think, though, complementary to the battle system in the realm. If you're not winning in a traditional kind of realm control point way, you have another option to start ticking off things that are on your objective. So it's going to change how your opponent interacts with you. based on the information that they have in the game at any time. So you'll see that there's some quick wins that you can make on your faction objective. You might want to just hit them and get them ticked off, so then your opponent starts to see that maybe there's only 4 more things to do on that list. They need to change their strategy. It gives you multi-layer systems of ways to win the game, and that was the focus. We don't want players to feel that they're locked down and they can't do anything. They just have to wait up their inevitable loss. So the one thing that I want to mention again is how you're going to own this game is changing. So the idea is that one faction core set is the complete game. There'll be 6 heroes in there, so you can play that faction against itself with a friend. So if you like the idea of just buying one faction core set, you've got the entire game. Every other faction core set just expands the cards and expands the playstyle. The boosters, we've gone away from randomized cards in the boosters that you can't obtain. So all the cards that you buy in the faction core set is going to be the entire game. The boosters that we're going to be releasing are going to be cosmetic only. So they're going to be for collectors that have foil, serialized, etched, borderless. We're doing alternate art as well for some of the heroes. So in those collector boosters, you're only going to get cosmetic upgrades for the deck. But it also gives you an opportunity, say you've bought the Divine Faction core set and you want some shadow cards just to look at them. You can buy a couple of boosts to see what they're like. And if you like the Shadow Booster cards, you can buy the Faction Core set and you'll get every card in the Shadow Faction. We want to move away from pack gambling and pay-to-win elements in the competitive landscape, because we want people to be able to take this game casually and also tune their deck so much that there's a strategy around it that only they know. And we want that playing field to be level, so everyone can have a strategy that they've developed that's not behind a paywall. Right, so Archaic Realms is coming to Gamefound in September. There's a lot that's going to be coming out between now and then. So deep dives into all the mechanics a little bit further than what we've discussed today. There's going to be more UI releases on the cards, card artwork releases, and then the big one that I really want people involved in is Tabletop Simulator play testing, which will be happening this month. We'll release that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Once that's finished and on Tabletop Simulator, we are hoping we get as much community feedback from that as possible. You'll be able to play the game for free on Tabletop Simulator, so keep an eye out for that. I want people now to just keep following this journey with us as we do the launch in September. I want people to join the Discord for any feedback that they want to give. I also want people to join the YouTube channel so you keep getting videos like this. And please reach out if you have any feedback. I read everything. So jump on Instagram, jump in Discord and drop a message. Cool, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.